and not be able to afford groceries. I can't afford groceries.
So how bad really was my shopping addiction, besides the fact that it was all consuming all day, every day?
I am done saving money.
Something bad is coming, and we can see this as people are starting to panic. Everything from the way that people spend to the way that people are responding to the world around them, where the most ridiculous thing can now happen and people continue on with their daily lives. This is an event that we've seen happening after the events of 2020, where basically nothing feels real anymore. Today's video comes from Hayden Schreier. His channel will be linked in the description, so you can go check him out and support him. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand the implications of what's happening right now. Doom spending in 2024 is way out of control, and it must be stopped. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
The next 40 seconds, I'm going to de-influence you and bring you back to reality. Weekly or monthly clothing hauls is not normal. Traveling frequently to luxurious destinations is not normal.
Back to the advice for a young person. Most young people don't have the discipline to invest any money they get their hands on. The smartest people in the world with the most godlike technology are presenting you with amazing, irresistible offers to upgrade from economy to economy comfort.
For somebody like me that constantly spends all of their money and makes excuses for themselves and leans into manifestation and delusion, is like money comes and goes easily and frequently, so they just spend money steady and they don't even think about where it's going or pay attention to their bank account or cringe when you look at their bank account. This is for you.
Doom spending in 2024 is absolutely out of control, and honestly, it's getting pretty ridiculous. People keep coming up with just creative excuses of why not to save money and to overspend on anything and everything. If you guys have been guilty of doom spending or know somebody that has doom spent, let me know down in the comment section below. Otherwise, let's get right into today's episode.
Doom spending is a new concept, which is people are worried.
Oh, the world's going to come to an end, so I'm going to spend it all.
Exactly.
And
this is
so bad.
This is it is happening, and I've been reading a few articles on this where people are like, well, the market's going to crash, the economy's going to crash, so might as well go deep into credit card debt, buy the things now, and the economy's strong.
Honestly, I haven't heard this. This is a new term that has been coined by either millennials or Gen Z as another, yet again, excuse to spend more and more money, to go into debt this time, to just buy everything that you want. As the article states, doom spending is when young people are splashing out on luxuries like travel and designer clothes instead of saving, in a trend that's being categorized as doom spending on social media. Doom spending is when a person mindlessly shops to self-soothe because they feel pessimistic about the economy and their future, according to Psychology Today. It's happening because young people are chronically online and feel like they're constantly receiving bad news. It makes them feel like Armageddon. These young people are then translating the bad feelings into bad spending habits. Now, what's also even crazier is when I scroll down, it even shows that we're supposedly the first generation that's going to be poorer. It says the generation growing up now is the first generation that's going to be poorer than its parents for a very long time. There's that feeling that you might never be able to achieve what your parents achieved or more.
Bro, just buy it. You work 5 days a week, girl. The week has 7 days, and you work 5 of those days, and you're not gonna fucking check out that Sephora cart, that Essence cart, that Ulta cart, that fucking ASOS cart, that Zara cart. Girl, you work 5 days a week. 5.
And honestly, it's crazy because I've heard about this, through the grapevine from friends that believe this too. Like, they're like, why just add things to your saved list? And I don't know if you guys have Amazon, but people add stuff to their Amazon cart or their wish list, for a rainy day, or it's one of those luxuries that they're going to save up for, do the responsible thing, or have their friends buy for their birthday, something like that. But there's new trends now going on where it's like, no, if it's in your cart, buy it. There's no reason to just leave it in your cart. That's silly. World's going to end, or, treat yourself. You work 5 days a week. Literally any excuse to just spend all your money. And it's getting worse because we have a lot of new trends on social media that kind of influence or convince younger people, my generation, Gen Z, and even millennials, to follow this kind of silly behavior. Like we're almost normalizing and condoning credit card debt and overspending, and it's becoming a problem where people don't think outside of today. You know, they don't think about what they want in the future or having wants, you know, later down the road. But here's a new trend that I'm noticing too. So on top of doom spending and people just blowing all their money, it's now turned into these crazy trends where people are just collecting everything like crazy. It's called overconsumption core. We're definitely going to make a video on this. I just had to show you guys this. I mean, this is that whole Stanley trend that happened a couple of months ago here where everybody was just, you know, fangirling over collecting these, and it's just a fad. It's just like silly bands. It's just like baseball cards. There's these trends that pop up and people just go crazy for them. Look at the collection this person has for Stanley Cups. It's insane, and more than likely, they're blowing all their money on it. Here you go again. Healing a shopping addiction is not linear. Old habits repeat, and I'm still actively trying and selling. So at least she's trying to sell it all, but look at the collection she has. That's a new term that I've heard called retail therapy. I don't know if you guys have heard of this. It's just people spending all of their money on whatever makes them feel comfortable or happy today. It's crazy.
So this trend that you are seeing right now will affect everyone more than you realize. Gen Zers, it's like just when you think they're beginning to quiet down and maybe they'll fade off into the background and we'll just stop talking about them. Nope, they're here to stay. You see, Gen Zers are doing things like purchasing things on Amazon and then using credit cards and then calling in the credit card company and saying they never got it. And it's basically your word against them. And they're doing this at rates significantly higher than any other generation. When they do these things, it results in products costing more. Don't get me wrong, companies are already screwing us over. But it results in billions and billions of dollars, maybe like $100 billion a year in lost revenue because of theft, this type of theft. Gen Zers are like, the boomers stole our future, so we're just going to steal it back. A lot of them right now are racking up higher rates of debt than the millennials and the Gen Xers, and sometimes combined. So they're basically going out, they're getting access to credit, and they're just charging as much as they can. Charge. Because their mindset is that they have no future, there is no future, so they're just going to pester society. They don't really care about being here tomorrow because they don't really feel like they are going to be. The average Gen Zer has no prospects of the future. Do you understand? It's very interesting about Gen Z. They are basically very much stuck in the past and in the present. And that's something that a pattern of behavior that you see with the boomers as well. That's why Gen Z are called the Zoomers. The boomers have been around for so long that they started to respawn as Gen Z. The boomers were known as the me generation. They are basically stuck perpetually in the present. And they can't really see anything ahead of them. They can't. This is the reason why so many boomers don't have anything saved for Social Security. They say that they were never told to save for retirement. So they didn't. How foolish do you, and guys, here's the thing. There's a saying, just let people speak for long enough and they will tell on themselves. How foolish do you have to be to not know that you need to save for retirement? How privileged do you have to be to think that Social Security is going to take care of you? Guys, we all know that Social Security is not enough. Millennials know that Social Security is not enough. Gen X knows that Social Security is not enough. Even if you do get to collect Social Security, which we won't, even if you were able to collect full Social Security, it wouldn't be enough to carry you through retirement. So you have to plan ahead. The boomers, on the other hand, they basically pillaged the economy. They sold our futures out. They sold our futures while we were still in diapers. And they left us in this horrible situation. And now, half of all, people becoming homeless right now are baby boomers. They represent the largest number of people becoming homeless in the United States. back in 1990, people over the age of 50 that were homeless was only around 5%. Now they're making up 50% of the homeless population, growing 50% of the growing homeless population. And it's serious. And these people, they don't have any money to retire. Half of them have no retirement income, no money saved for retirement. The other half, that do have some money, 70% of them have less than $100,000. And the average boomer spends $53,000 a year. So they're not going to be able to survive on that. Gen Z is constantly stuck in the present like the boomers. It's all about the vibes, man. It's all about right now. And it's a lack of irresponsibility. I've talked about it already. I said that Gen Z and the boomers, they're going to retire. If they do retire, they're going to retire together. If you think it's a joke, it's not a joke. People have called Gen Z exactly what they are. They're just a broker version of the boomers. They're exactly like the boomers. And it's really horrible for all of us. Life is never easy. There's always going to be hardships in life, which is the reason why you have to plan ahead. You have to plan for hard times, and you have to invest. You simply have to. Guys, when the banks collapse, everything changes. ATMs will freeze, withdrawals will stop, and millions will find themselves unable to access their money. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. History shows us that once the cracks appear, the system goes downhill fast. And the scramble to protect wealth begins. When this happens, people will panic, desperately trying to convert their devalued assets into crypto. But by then, it'll be too late for most. Only those who prepared in advance, those who set up decentralized bank accounts and secured their wealth in crypto, will thrive amidst the chaos. At Angry's Crypto Academy, we'll teach you how to stay ahead of the collapse. You'll learn how to safeguard your funds, leverage decentralized banking, and position yourself to profit when the system fails. And oh boy, is it going to fail. It's going to be the Greater Depression. The warning signs are here, and time is running out. The banks won't warn you when they fail, but we are. Don't wait until ATMs stop working or your funds are frozen. Join Angry's Crypto Academy today and prepare for what's coming. Act now, because when the collapse begins, it'll already be too late. Click the link in the description to sign up.
Y'all are always tagging me in other creators' videos whenever they're claiming to have the best sneaker collection on TikTok. I guess giving me like a little shout out. And I'm not saying I do have the best collection on TikTok.
So this is a prime example of what is called overconsumption core. It's collecting, and not to say that, you can't collect stuff. Everybody is guilty of collecting. I'm guilty of collecting things. I used to have a huge sneaker collection, and then I realized that this is getting pretty out of hand, and I sold everything. And as of right now, the only thing I have left is really just, I like to collect tools. That's what I'm guilty of at this current moment here. But I did notice I have that habit and that tendency to collect lots of things. Like, I can't just have one of anything, and it's a problem, especially if you still have debts or if you are still trying to save money and you haven't saved anything. It can become a real problem where people will prioritize and think, and I have friends that do this, that will have huge sneaker collections, or there's girls that have huge shopping collections, and that's almost like their savings account, where instead of having their money in the bank, they think, oh, I'll just invest in all of these sneakers that, yeah, they might hold value, but it's not liquid. Sometimes they go down, or it's just not as easily sellable. It's not a liquid asset as some people seem to think. and they'll overspend on this. And this is like their savings account. And it's not the best thing out there. And not to say you're not allowed to collect things. I just think there's a right and wrong way of doing it. And if you don't have your money saved away and you don't have your investments in check before you do this, it can become a real problem down the line. And I just wanted to show you, it's not just women overspending on shopping.
How much money do you owe the Snap-on tribe?
Too much, like $6,000.
How much money do you owe the Snap-on tribe?
Well, like 2,000.
1,000? How much money do you owe the Snap-on tribe?
Not a lot.
Not a lot? How much is not a lot?
$5,000. $5,000, guys. That's how Gen Z rolls. How much money do you owe the Snap-on truck? Not a lot. So you're like, oh, so let me leave him alone. Let me leave him alone. She goes, how much? $5,000. See, that's $5,000 isn't a lot of money to Gen Z because they burn that easily. They will burn through that easily on absolutely nothing. Don't give these people credit. That's another thing. Like they need like separate rules for the rest of us. Okay? Like Gen Z is a whole other adulthood. Gen Zers say that adulthood doesn't start until about 30 years old. All right, so if adulthood doesn't start until 30 years old, then why the hell are we giving them credit cards? Okay? Let alone, why can't they even vote? Because we damn well know they're not going to go and join the military. We know they're not serving in a draft. They are the most mentally ill generation out there, and they will tell you right off the bat that they are mentally ill and they are not going to serve. And if you try to force them into, it, you know, you're going to find out what's up. They'll go and fight for the enemy. They're not playing. They are not playing. We all damn well know Gen Z is not serving in a draft. There is no way. All right. The U.S. military did a study and found that most Gen Zers are not capable of serving. Okay. Like it was like 75% of Gen Zers can't even serve in the military because of drug abuse, substance addiction, alcoholism, obesity, or mental incompetence. Yes, mental incompetence was a part of that. So either they're too fat, too dumb, or too drugged up. These bad muffins aren't going anywhere. You damn well know that wars will be fought by old men.
Wow, $5,000.
How much money do you owe the Snap-on tribe?
Right now, $15,000.
Jeez. And this pretty much happens in every category, in every niche, whether you're a guy or a girl, whether you choose to do retail therapy or you went to trade school and you're a mechanic now. People don't realize, which is crazy. A lot of people don't know that mechanics actually have to purchase their own tools. Very similar to like barbershops and beauty salons. You have to come prepared with your own stuff. And some people are going into massive amounts of debt to keep up with the status of Snap-on. That's what they're specifically talking about, which for those that don't know is like the designer Mercedes-Benz of the tool industry. Made in USA, some of the best professional tools. And I don't disagree. They are incredibly well, but people are going into $15,000 worth of debt, $20,000 worth of debt for tools that half of them they probably don't need or could get away with using Harbor Freight or Icon or just cheaper alternatives here. Now, I'm guilty of it too. Ever since I started working on my own cars, I've built up quite an extensive collection of sockets and tools and things of that nature. Granted, I'm making sure that I'm saving money and investing prior to doing this, but trust me, there are plenty here that I bought that I haven't even used yet. I'm sure some are starting to stand out here. I do use these too, but there's definitely ones that I bought just to complete the collection or that I think I'm going to use at some point later on. But it's okay. Like, it's okay to collect things as long as you do it responsibly and you're not reckless with your money, because then it can start to become a problem.
How much money do you owe the Snap-on tribe?
Probably my left leg.
Oh my.
Bad money habits that were keeping me broke. I'm Christina. I'm a former shopaholic, and I used to be in $120,000 of student loan debt. I managed to pay that off in a total of 6 years.
Let that be inspiration for all you that are also carrying student loan debt. $120,000. She managed to pay it all off in 6 years. It might be hard. It might be difficult, but it is not impossible.
How did she pay off $120,000 in student loan debt over the course of 6 years? So she's probably a millennial, probably not a Gen Zer, And what field is she working in? Is she in nursing? Is she in medicine? Because a lot of people would not be able to pay that amount of money off. What a lot of Gen Zers are actually doing is they're filing for bankruptcy. This is a pattern that they've been doing for the last couple of years. So they graduate from college, they have massive amounts of student loan debt. So they go and they file for bankruptcy and they discharge all of their personal debt in bankruptcy. However, there is more. Keep in mind, student loan debt is one of the only forms of debt that you cannot typically discharge in bankruptcy. But what they are doing is they're also stating that they are mentally incompetent and that they are not capable of holding down a normal job. You might say that that's a load of BS, but it's not. Because all they have to do is go to their former employers and have letters of references provided, stating that they are typically horrible to work with, not capable of holding down a normal job, and should be given, basically written off as, non-functional for the rest of their lives. If you go to a lot of the employers, it doesn't matter if it's Starbucks or McDonald's or JP Morgan Chase, and you say to them, hey, can we have a letter basically discussing honestly the kind of employee that your Gen Zer was? Are they mentally incompetent? Are they not capable of doing normal work? The kind of letter that you will receive back, if they are being honest, will be a scathing rebuke of the Gen Zer, saying that they should never be hired at any company. They are the worst of the absolute worst. They are incompetent in all means. They are terrible to work with. They will never amount to anything. They should be blacklisted from the workforce. They have the attention span of a fly, and so on and so on. So that's what they are actually doing, because they know they're terrible. And they're easily having their student loans discharged on the grounds of mental incompetency. Many of them are also filing for disability, permanent disability. Here's something interesting. A large portion of Gen Zers have long-term mental illness. Like 70% of them have long-term mental illness. So it's not something that's going to go away in the next couple of years. It's not something easily treatable. Like, the rates of autism are very higher among Gen Z. And in terms of mental illness, they have extraordinary mental illness in their generation, so much so that they can easily get disability and get rid of those loans, collect things like SSI, so Social Security, Social Security insurance for people who don't have any money. So they'll collect SSI, and they'll also work on the side, bring in some income on the side, maybe do some Uber Eats or whatever if they choose to. They're also getting an allowance from mommy and daddy, so they're staying home with mom and dad. The average age that a Gen Zer leaves home right now is at age 27. Here's the problem with that statistic. Gen Zers are about 27 right now. The oldest Gen Zers are like 27. So that means almost every Gen Zer is staying home with their parents. Not every single Gen Zer, but most Gen Zers are staying with their parents, remaining with their parents. And like I said, Gen Z, when they were polled, they say that adulthood starts at age 30. The oldest of Gen Z is 27, which means that they have 3 years to go and they still don't think they're adults yet, but they think they might get there in 3 years. Holy cow.
If you put your mind to it and you focus up.
By changing some of these bad money habits. I was one of those classic high earners who was broke. Here's why. Number one is lifestyle creep. When I first started working in my career, I was making more money than I'd ever seen in my whole life, which meant I wanted to treat myself. So I stopped living like a student, moved out on my own in a big city. I started to upgrade the stores that I was shopping at, so suddenly became an Aritzia girly, which is a very expensive habit to keep up with. And I tried to keep up. I charged vacations on my credit card, did all the shit for the photo, because that's what I thought you were supposed to do. So instead of doing things like living as cheaply as I possibly could to pay off my student loan or even starting to learn to save and invest, I spent every dollar of that disposable income on my lifestyle, which left me with a lot of nice looking things, but no actual money of my own to show for it.
And I think what she said is awesome, and that's why I threw it in here. There's a couple other testimonials which we'll go over in a little bit here, but this is so common. It is so common, especially with this whole doom spending trend that is going viral right now on social media, because people are just finding every excuse in the book to spend all their money. And she is a prime example of somebody that just kind of fell into the habit, like the lifestyle that is so common nowadays with people. I see it all the time, especially in jobs. If you work a corporate job or something like that, you very quickly compare yourself to the clothing that other people wear, to the cars in the parking lot that other people drive. It's very common. My girlfriend had the same thing happen to her when she was in her corporate 9-to-5 job, working as an accountant. When she rolled into the lot in her 2010 Mazda 3 with 180,000 miles on it, all the cars in the parking lot were brand new. Lexus RX 350s. We had BMW M4s. There were Tesla Model 3s. I mean, every car was brand new. And the game that I would play with her is like guess their car payments, because I bet every single one of them just blows all their money. And like she had said, she had something called lifestyle creep, which is a crazy term that makes total sense. And Dave Ramsey talks about this all the time.
And guys, I just want to remind you that I actively use GOG, Good Old Games, for purchasing my games digitally. It's a platform where it's just like Steam, except you can own your games DRM free. You can download them and they can never be taken away from you. It's GOG.com, GOG.com. And I talk about it constantly. If you guys are looking for a gaming laptop, I also want to recommend some sales that are happening right now. I'm not sponsored, but I actually just got this one and I'm loving this. This is the Asus ROG Strix G16. And it's usually $1,900 right now. You can grab it for roughly $1,600. There's roughly a $300 discount on it. And basically it has a 470 RTX processor that's one of the absolute best. The only things higher are 4080 and 4090. So you're going to be able to run 1440p games at incredible rates, no performance issues. You also have two slots for RAM and 2 slots for SSDs. So you can upgrade the SSD to a maximum SSD storage to a maximum of 16 terabytes, and you can update the RAM to a maximum of 96 gigabytes. I'm actually upgrading mine to the 96. I have the RAM right now, and I've upgraded my SSD to a 4 terabyte, and I was able to do that for just literally $400, which is not a lot. And you can find some great deals on memory and on storage right now during the Black Friday sale. So this is a great deal. And what's very important about this laptop is if you've wanted to jump into PC gaming, there's like, of all the different devices, people say that they have no problems with this setup. I had a Zephyrus before. I had to send it back. It was such a clunky mess, and I picked this up, and this is a great device. Everyone says it's great, so definitely go and check this out. So this one's $1,600, and for Black Friday, but there's also another model that I want you guys to check out as well if you want to save even more money, and it's an insane bargain as well. It will perform roughly about the same as this model. I'll explain. So I actually honestly almost picked up this version. This one usually sells for $1,400. It's very similar to the other model, except it has a 4060 processor, 4060 GPU, and that just has just slightly fewer cores in it, but it has really good performance. It has the i7 13650HX processor. So the i7 is actually a high-end processor, and then you have the i9s, but i7s they perform so well that they can keep up really well with the i9s, and the HX is actually the highest version of the processing model. So this is the highest version that you're going to get, with the exception of like one device, okay, so one GPU. So this is like the best you're going to get in terms of that, and you're going to have incredible performance. You can also put 96 gigabytes of RAM in this, 16 terabytes of memory in this, and this is a full-fledged gaming laptop. It's just like the other one. It has a 1080p screen instead of supporting 1440p, but it's a beautiful full HD screen. And because it doesn't render up to 1440p, it does not need that additional processing power, meaning that on the 4060 processor, you're going to get roughly the same performance on this device that you would be getting on the 4070 that I just showed you, which is selling for about $500 or more. So right now with the Black Friday sale, you can get this for $1,100. This is an absolutely crazy device. The reason why I'm saying this is because, guys, tariffs are coming and the cost of everything is going to skyrocket. So you don't want to screw up. You don't want to miss out. And PlayStation, Sony, they're pushing all this DEI garbage. I buy my games on GOG for literally pennies. I've picked up like bangers for 59 cents on GOG. So I'm like, it's like I'm having the best of both worlds right now. And I download my games. I'm going to, back them up to an external SSD, even back them up to the cloud, and no one can take them away from me. So I have my games fully backed up, a couple terabytes of games backed up. And when, the lights go out, I don't really care because, have a generator, have your games backed up, your gaming laptop, a couple backups as well, a couple different devices, a backup for a backup, and you're good to go. So guys, if you want to get into PC gaming, I'm telling you that you definitely should start going down this path, because PlayStation is a monopoly right now. Xbox is a disgrace, and Nintendo is Nintendo. It's like they're living their own, they're doing their own thing and living their best life, but it's never going to keep up with the modern day era. This is actually a very, very good device. It's something that's going to be playing games for years to come, especially with the ability to upgrade the RAM, which is something not common in a lot of devices. Supporting 96 gigabytes of RAM is totally uncommon, and 16 terabytes of SSD. That's unheard of. So that would be 8 terabytes in each of the SSD slots. But I wanted to share that with you guys. These are best. I was watching out for these deals for a long time. And like I said, if either of these is a great decision. Both are beautiful screens. This screen has a 165 hertz display, so it's buttery smooth, while the more expensive device, the 4070, has a 240, is it a 244 hertz? I'd have to check. But it's, again, both are incredible. Once you get above 90 hertz, you're going to have 90 hertz refresh rate. You're going to have some great stuff happening. So definitely go and check it out, guys. I wanted to share that with you. Both of these laptops will be linked in the description of the video. You can use the links in there. And when you use them, I do make a little, they are affiliate links, so I do make a little something from them. Nothing special, but this video is not sponsored. And I wanted to share these with you because I thought that this is great for so many of us. I'm so into PC gaming right now, and I'm completely pushing towards decentralization, where you own your stuff and you separate yourself from these companies that do not like us, absolutely hate us, but just want to take our money away. So yeah, definitely go check those out. They're linked in the description if you're interested.
Where people will match their lifestyle to their income, and they will always never have money. And it's so common, and I see this all the time with my friends, regardless of the careers that they're in. They make $100,000, they'll move their lifestyle up. Oh, well, I'm going to get a BMW, or a Mercedes and get rid of my previous car. I'll up that car payment because now I have the money to afford it. So they never actually have money to show for it. And they're always working like a horse because they keep matching that lifestyle. And it's a mental thing. It will never change no matter how much money they're given. They could get a raise, 100% raise, and go from 100K to 200K, but they'll just keep moving up their lifestyle. They'll get a bigger car, a bigger house. They'll get an extra car. They'll buy fancier clothing. And this is very common, that there are people that can save $15,000 a year on a $30,000 salary. And there are also people that are making $180,000 a year, living paycheck to paycheck, and in $80,000 worth of debt.
The next 40 seconds, I'm going to de-influence you and bring it back to reality. Weekly or monthly clothing hauls is not normal. Shopping designer casually like it's the same thing like shopping at Aritzia is not normal. Traveling frequently to luxurious destinations is not normal. Buying the newest tech gear as soon as it comes out is not normal.
I'm guilty of that. I just, after watching this, being like, I need to practice what I preach here, I paid off my phone, and that was the one thing I was guilty of, and I no longer do that. I own my phone outright now, and I'm no longer, and now I've heard people are returning the new iPhone 16s back to the store saying they're junk, so.
Regularly dining out at expensive restaurants is not normal. I'm here to remind you that most people live normal lives, and that's not it. For the people that you see online, you can't see their potential credit card debt, you can't see their investment portfolio or savings, and you can't see their card payments. So remember that what you see online is just a sliver of the truth, and keeping up with the Joneses is not worth the stress and crappy finances that may potentially come along with it.
And I couldn't have said that better myself. This is perfect. And the problem is so many people, like we were saying before, compare themselves to friends, to employers or employees in the workforce, or even the biggest one is what they see on social media. They follow their influencers out there and they try to match their lifestyle to theirs. And you don't know what's behind the curtains. Like, you don't know how much debt they could have keeping up with the lifestyle that they have. It's unrealistic and it's not normal to go on lavish vacations and travel around the world every couple of months. It's impossible. I don't know how you hold a job like that. And that's a big thing too that has a lot of impact on people's lives. Unrealistic bodies. We have body dysmorphia, unrealistic spending habits, unrealistic lifestyles. People always say, well, why can't I have that? You got to realize what people post on the internet is only the highlights. It's like a highlight reel. You don't see the other 95% of their life, which is probably nowhere near what you think it is.
10 things we have absolutely no business buying because the last thing any of us needs is more stuff.
And guys, please, please, please don't be like these brokies. Many of them are going to end up in the streets from whence they came when everything comes crashing down. The financial world is transforming at lightning speed, and the opportunity to build life-changing wealth is vanishing fast. Bitcoin has skyrocketed past $90,000 and is racing towards 100,000, so 100K, already out of reach for most people. But there's one specific cryptocurrency still poised to explode 100 times or even 1,000 times in this coming bull run. This is your chance to act before the masses catch on. With Donald Trump confirming a $1 trillion USD crypto investment as a national wealth reserve, you can't afford to ignore this moment. You really can't. At Angry's Crypto Academy, we'll teach you everything you need to know from buying and selling this cryptocurrency and every cryptocurrency out there anonymously to creating a decentralized bank account. Even if you know nothing about crypto, we'll guide you every step of the way. See that? You like that? The clock is ticking, and this cryptocurrency won't stay under the radar for long. Don't miss your chance. Join Angry's Crypto Academy today and uncover the one crypto that could make you rich. Click the link in the description of the video to get started.
I'm dealing with a bit of June gloom and I'm feeling cranky, so let's rant. I think social media has really normalized overconsumption, so here's a cold hard reality check for all of us. At number 1, you do not need to buy an entirely new wardrobe every time you go on vacation. This has become so normalized to the point where it's a meme and people are joking when the outfits are costing more than the vacation itself. That is incredibly abnormal behavior and none of us need to do that. We all have plenty of clothes at home that would work perfectly for vacation. Realistically, you're gonna shop on the trip anyway, so it's like double overconsumption. Number 2, you do not need that trendy lip oil du jour. You have plenty at home and I assure you the formula is not that different. Number 3 is the Stanley Cup. None of us need more than one Stanley Cup or water bottle. I've seen multiple videos of women physically attacking each other because of limited edition Valentine's Day colors. I cannot stress how ridiculous that is. That's absolutely crazy behavior and it made me physically sick to my stomach. Number 6 is plastic aesthetic organizers for every item in your home. You do not need a plastic organizer for your socks.
And now I know this is very much so catered, or at least it has been towards women, but men do the same thing. You don't need that new tool. You don't need that new pair of sneakers. You don't need that extra cologne, that next cologne here. You don't need to buy that extra car part. Not to say that you can't if everything else is in order and in check, but this is a problem that we keep finding reasons upon reasons upon reasons to overspend. This is not the norm anymore. Saving money in 2024 is not normal. People are living on a subscription service. People would rather not talk about money or save money or invest money. It's almost frowned upon at this point that I'm seeing, that if you are very into money, it's almost looked at as a negative. Ew, why are you talking about money? Ew, why would you want to do that? Like, the culture is slowly changing, or maybe it's never been this way, to talk about money. It's almost taboo to bring up at the table. Hey, you know, how do you save money? Hey, how do you invest? Like, some people don't like to discuss it.
Just
Most
wish
people do.
someone had slapped me in the face with it at 18.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Honestly, I probably started at 28.
That's still earlier than most people, but it goes to the notion of, back to the advice for a young person, most young people don't have the discipline to invest any money they get their hands on. Because a capitalist economy is the smartest people in the world with the most godlike technology are presenting you with amazing, irresistible offers to upgrade from economy to economy comfort. There's 3 other people looking at this room, this hotel room, and it's going on sale, and I better buy. It's so difficult to hold on to any money. You want to find ways of forced savings. A house is forced savings to a certain extent because people don't want to be evicted
To a certain extent, I agree.
from their house. Going to work for a company and getting options and getting equity that grows tax deferred, that's sort of forced savings. But you want, as a young person, try and find as many ways as possible to have forced savings. An app that rounds up to the nearest dollar and then invests no matter what, that is forced savings.
I agree entirely. I think it's a great idea and a great example. I know the app is called Acorns. I'm sure now there are tons of other apps that have forced savings accounts that make you save. A 401k where it's pulling money out before you even get to touch the paycheck is a forced savings. That video is so freaking powerful. And I have said this countless times in previous videos here. What people don't realize is there are mega massive corporations in this world that have billions upon billions of dollars, and they can spend, and they do spend, millions upon millions of dollars in market research to figure out how to take your money. That's it. Not only do we have politicians and yada, yada, yada that are purposely keeping learning about money out of school systems. You know, the education system has clearly failed us. We're going to make a video on that, on the education system. We're going to make a video on overconsumption core because it's crazy here. Well, the world is moving to a subscription service. I can't begin to tell you how pissed off I get when people text me asking for money advice and say, well, I can afford the $600 car payment. I'm like, it's like, it makes my blood boil. I'm like, what are you buying? They're like, oh, it's a $30,000 car. I'm like, do you have $30,000? No. How much do you make? 50K? You don't need it. You can't afford it. But because we live in such a subscription world, which has clearly worked, they're like, well, I can afford $500 a month for 87 months. I can afford that. No, you can't. You don't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen to your life 87 months from now. Most of you are probably going to want to start a family, and to have a $500 leech on your bank account is insane. Not only do we see that, we have other examples. 0% financing is a well thought of plan by big credit card and big companies to get you to buy that shit today and pay it off later. You have Klarna, you have pay later, buy now, pay later apps here. You have the small promotions, sales incentives. Oh, it's half off. Or when you buy airplane tickets or hotel tickets, like he's saying, and it says, oh, 5 people have looked at this. It's another reason to get you to buy it. If you ever shop on eBay and it says 47 other people have bought this in the past, or Amazon has Prime Day sales. Amazon has, oh, this item is still in your cart. Or if you ever leave an item in your Etsy store for a couple of hours or days, you'll get here's 5% off, as another incentive to buy it. There is billions of dollars spent in market research to get you to spend your money. And the quicker you realize that the world is out to take your money, the better off you will be.
How much money you make. Start saving money. You're going out to the party? I'm not coming. We're going out to the club Saturday night? Dude, I'm not coming. We're going to go over here? Dude, I'm not coming. We're going to go do this? I'm not coming. Save. Invest, save. Your income goes up, don't change your lifestyle. Your income goes up, don't change your lifestyle. Your income goes up, don't change your lifestyle. Let your income increase 2, 3, 4, 5 times before you dramatically change your lifestyle. If you can afford to live in $1 million home, live in a $500,000 home. If you can afford to live in a $3 million home, live in $1 million home. If you can afford to live in a $10 million home, live in a $2 million home. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're like, man, this pillow got softer. I sleep better right now. I feel better. What the hell just happened all of a sudden? Because you made better decisions. So some people have an income problem, fine, but most people don't have an income problem. Most people have a saving and a spending problem that's haunting them. And when you are in debt and you're owing everybody money, you are just not in a good, weak place. You don't do husband better. You don't do friend better. You don't do business better. You don't do any of that stuff better.
I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm going to share this with you. And, one of the things that you never want to get in trouble with is the IRS. This is how I know some of my listeners are psychopaths. because I've had listeners who've said that, I talked about it recently that I almost have a 700 on Experian right now. I'm literally in the 790s, and I am very close to achieving an 800 on Experian. And so that's my credit score. And it took a lot of hard work. It took making good decisions. It took learning how credit works. It took learning how to spend wisely and to actually, how they actually want you to spend. It took a lot of these things to do that so that I could expand, keep on building up my credit limit and so forth. The thing is that when you have good credit, it prepares you for emergencies where something may come up in your life and you may say, okay, well, I need to purchase this, and by being able to purchase something on credit, even if you don't have the cash right away, or if you do have the cash in your bank account, but it's going to put you in a bad position, versus if you can purchase it on credit, and if you need to pay it off, you can pay it off, but you now have time to pay it off, and you can pay it off even in your next paycheck. That makes all the difference in the world. And, there's some people who are like, oh, I have terrible credit and I own 2 homes. That's absolute BS. Some of these people are lying, and others are, I don't even know how they're making it. Because credit is also an indicator of how well you are with budgeting money and also honesty. There are some companies, some jobs you won't be able to qualify for if you have bad credit. For example, if you want to work for one of like the 3-letter agencies like the FBI, some of these companies, CIA, you have bad credit, they don't hire you. Because if your credit is not good, that's an indicator that you are dishonest or that you are easily influenced or given to your vices very easily. They will look at your credit score as a reference for your ability to remain disciplined. It doesn't mean that you have to be perfect. It doesn't mean that you don't have debt. It just means that you are responsible with your debt, that you are paying your loans back, that you honor your words and your commitments. Many of you guys will disagree with me and say that it doesn't mean absolutely anything. It does. All right? It shows how responsible you are. And when you are in debt, it is a miserable thing. There's some of you who, like I've said, never get into trouble with the IRS. The IRS will chase you to the ends of the earth for a penny. And when you owe the IRS money, what they do is they have this thing called compound interest, and it goes up by the day. So every single day, any debt that you owe the IRS is increasing by the day. So if you owe them $1,000 and you don't pay that, it can go from $1,000 in 1 year to $1,300 in the next, to 16 or 17 in the following, and you let that sit for, let's say, 5 years, and what they do is they'll tack on penalties. So they'll tack on a $3,000 or $5,000 penalty on there. So your $1,000 debt that you owed the IRS, is now $6,000 or $7,000 or even $10,000 after just a couple of years, and they're going to chase you to the ends of the earth for that money, and it's going to keep on increasing every single day. You don't want to get in trouble with them. And there's some of you psychopaths out there who are like, listen, you could get onto a payment plan with the IRS. All right. There's no problem there. You guys, you don't want to owe this. You don't want to. Sure. Guys, if they say you owe them something, double check it and make sure it's correct. I'll give you an example. I sent off my tax returns on time. I get a letter from the IRS telling me that, I didn't submit I submitted my tax returns late and they were charging me some fees. And I'm like, oh, really? Guess what I did? I went to the post office and I made sure to get delivery confirmation, certified mail. So not delivery confirmation, certified mail. And, the lady at the post office, she didn't want to give it to me. She's like, because I sent it priority. And she was like, she's like, he's doing it the wrong way. She was trying to talk down to me, disrespect me to say that you don't need certified mail if you already have if you're sending something priority because it already has delivery confirmation on it. Delivery confirmation is not certified mail. Certified mail is different. So I put certified mail on it because I know who the IRS is. They're devils. And guess, lo and behold, I kept all of the receipts in my wallet with all the tracking numbers. I still have them in my wallet with all of the tracking numbers for everything because, I run a business. I am a business owner. So I have to do multiple different, filings for this and this and this and this. And I get the letter telling me that I owe them money. So I call them up and I was like, yeah, I have my receipts. I put delivery confirmation on it. And as soon as I said that, this woman starts talking crap like, oh my, she starts trying to joke around with me. She was nasty to me at first. She was nasty to me at first and was telling me that I'm not gonna get out of it. You know, I'm gonna give them their money. They're gonna get the money out. They're gonna get the money out of me. And I'm like, really? Because I have delivery confirmation. And then she immediately switches it like, she goes, yeah, you know, I really wish it was 2023 or some nonsense. She starts saying that she wants to go back to a year ago because she screwed up and the calls are recorded. So here they are trying to threaten me for money that I don't owe them. And as soon as I'm like, bro, I have my receipts. I have my receipts. Okay. I have certified mail. I sent it certified mail and I have them right here. I'll read the numbers to you. All of a sudden, she's like, please just give me a moment. Okay, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and remove that. I can see here that it was actually sent on this date. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So if you can see that it was sent on this date, then why are you telling me that I owe the IRS money? Do you see how evil these people are? How nasty they are? Okay, they are trained to be cold, to be calculating, to be disrespectful, to be nasty. We are on a recorded line, so who knows why she panicked like that? Because what if I said the IRS is here threatening me for money that I don't owe? Don't mess with these people. Do not owe the IRS money. Don't owe anyone money. Y'all pay your debts off. Pay your debts off. And like I said, guys, invest. Right now is one of the best times to be investing in crypto. Guys, let me ask you something. What would you do if tomorrow the banks froze your accounts, if you woke up, checked your balance, and couldn't get access to a single dollar? This isn't some far-fetched scenario. When the economy crashes, and it will, big banks won't be able to honor deposits. Your hard-earned money could be locked up, gone, or worth far less than you thought. This is why I created an expat's guide to decentralized banking and off-the-grid living. This course is your survival guide for protecting your wealth and escaping the chaos of a collapsing system. Here's what you'll learn. How to replace your bank account with crypto, so you're in control. Not the banks. How to get paid in crypto and avoid the fiat system entirely. How to access cash instantly using crypto. No middlemen, no delays, and advanced secret banking methods that let you protect and grow your money even without banks or crypto. This isn't just about staying ahead, it's about surviving when the system fails, when banks falter, when ATMs stop working, and when the world looks for answers, you'll already have one. The future is decentralized. If you don't prepare now, you'll be left scrambling later. Click the link in the description and get access to the course today. Protect yourself, your family, and your financial future before it's too late. This course isn't optional, it's essential. Take action now.
It couldn't have been better said. I mean, go back and rewatch those two videos, including this one. Most people, like I say, there's not enough millionaires in this world. Most people, especially young people, do not have the discipline. Even adults do not have the discipline to become millionaires. Most people, like she's about to say, want to spend like millionaires. They don't actually want to be millionaires because it's entirely different worlds. And it's so perfect. I can't believe I found those two videos. And if there's like any advice to take away from this episode, it's going to be those two episodes and this one I'm about to show you in a second here, but it is so perfectly well said. Live below your means. I always say it. People say live at your means. No, live below your means. If you can afford a $30,000 car, buy a $15,000 car. Keep doing this. Keep being disciplined, and you can see crazy things. I have been lifting and working out in the gym every day for 12 years. People ask me how I did it. Nobody can lose the weight besides you. You have to put in the work. It's discipline. It's every single day. I didn't see results in a day. I didn't see results in a month. I didn't see results in 5 months. It took 2 years, 5 years, 8 years, 9 years before I could really see my work was paying off.
If you were somebody like me that constantly spends all of their money and makes excuses for themselves and leans into manifestation and delusion and is like, money comes and goes easily and frequently, so they just spend money steady and they don't even think about where it's going or pay attention to their bank account or cringe when you look at their bank account, this is for you. right away, you're going to go get these 2 books. You're going to go get Atomic Habits by James Clear, and you're going to go get The Psychology of Money. I forgot the name of the author, but you need these 2 books immediately because you need to start understanding that there's...
Those 2 are very powerful books. They're actually in my Amazon cart. And honestly, taking these people advice, I should go buy it, right? And not even thinking about it. But I do have some other books that I am finishing up. But those are 2 very important books that you guys should read. I know reading is foreign and taboo right now, but I'm going to show you some other ones that I highly recommend you check out. So I have all these books right here that you guys should also be checking out and reading. But the first one that you guys should start off with is this book right here. It's called Dave Ramsey, The Total Money Makeover. I'll put Amazon links to them down below. This one is an incredible book, and it will tell you how to, at least start your life. If your life is a mess and it's all over the place and you're lost, that's the book that you start on. If you don't understand money, that's the book that you start on first. Other books that aren't really as important, if you really want to know about money or you're just curious to know what it is that I read here, these are what I recommend. We have The 48 Laws of Power, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham that I've read, The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. That's another book here. And the next one that I have to read is called Blue Ocean Strategy, How to Create Uncontested Market Space. A lot of these are more marketing, but definitely get the Dave Ramsey one and definitely check out the 2 books that she has. I'm going to be reading those next.
So much emotion behind why you buy what you buy and how you shop. And I honestly got a financial advisor this year who works with money trauma, and she really taught me that most of my spending habits and my reason for retail therapy is because I'm seeking validation from a product or something that's external of me. And it really showed me how much my emotions really lead my spending, which is also a problem because that means that I am a reactive person. And being reactive is a sign of trauma, right? So if I want to be a less reactive person, I want to be disciplined, I want to be successful, then I really got to work on those things. So the Psychology of Money is a really good thing. And it also, with the girls who like to manifest and we're delusional, we make our vision boards. I saw this thing in the Psychology of Money that talks about how do you want to be a millionaire or do you want to spend like a millionaire? Because they're 2 different things. So if your entire vision board is nice cars, luxury homes, all these things, and you can't imagine yourself actually being able to get them, you just want them to somehow fall in your lap, it's because you more than likely want to spend like one. You don't actually want to be one. Because if you want to be a millionaire, you're going to start being disciplined. You're going to check your bank account. You're going to make sure that you're actually saving. You're going to stop buying ridiculously expensive items that you don't need. You're going to stop buying things from TikTok Shop. You're going to stop looking online and just buying random nonsense or listening to what every influencer tells you to buy immediately. So one of the things that's also helped me be more successful and be a more disciplined person, which can lead me to being a millionaire in the future, because you don't become a millionaire overnight. You become one by building a millionaire. And how you build a millionaire is in the little steps that you're taking today while you only have $5 in your bank account. And those steps can start with being disciplined. So I started with using the app called Rocket Money. It's really helping me show like what I'm spending. And I was like, holy shit, I spend so much money on like random Ubers or random food or things just because I'm too lazy and I make an excuse. So now when I catch myself on that app by spending too much, I'm also being more mindful behind my payments that I make. So if I go to buy something, like I'm out to eat or like I'm just walking about and I like get the urge to go get something that I don't necessarily need, I'm like, what would a disciplined person do? How would a millionaire show up to this? They wouldn't buy this nonsense. I can tell you that, that's for sure. So that's one of the books. Atomic Habits is the next one. And honestly, it teaches you how to habit stack. It teaches you how to control your behavior, but not in a way that's restricted and limiting. It's more so like teaching you how like habits actually give you more freedom because you're controlling the ones that you need to do and the things that you have to do. And then it gives you more room for spontaneity.
Before I forget, this is excellent advice and you guys really need to rewatch this part of the video.
But like at least you're getting the things done that you wanted. So there's less shame, and with less shame comes less random emotional spending.
So yeah, guys, you have to learn how to manage money. You have to learn how to invest. You have to learn how to save. For the average man, simplicity is luxury. Being able to keep things simple, being able to, not have to worry about, keeping up with the Joneses, living this life that you cannot afford. Most men, so many men are more than happy to sleep on an air mattress or, a sleeping bag or, mattress on the floor or just the floor itself. There's a lot of the floor gang. Shout out to the floor gang. There's a group of guys on my channel that like sleeping on the floor, and they make it very, very clear. They'll pop up from time to time. They used to be even more vocal when I used to call them out more. And these are people who just like they are minimalist. Men are minimalist by nature. Women, on the other hand, that's something they struggle with because for them it's all about consumption. It's about having more. It's about resources and choosing from the person who's going to give you the most resources. That's why women are going around saying that $1 million is not even a lot of money. While people cannot afford food today, while people are suffering today, you have women going around saying that $1 million is not even a lot of money, while they don't even have it like that. And the funny thing is, I told you a story once where there was a woman living in the sewers, and a guy went to the sewers and he was interviewing people living in the sewers, and everything was going away. It's going okay. It was a dangerous place. He got him permission to go in, and he runs into this woman living in the sewers, and he starts asking her, how did she end up in the sewers? Why isn't she, married and with children? And she basically starts going on a tangent that she knows the kind of man that she deserves, and she's not going to settle for just any man. And this was like a woman who was pushing 60 years old. She looked rough. She was in her 50s, I guess, and she starts, and the guy who's the interviewing, he basically just gets pissed off, and he goes, Susan, stop it. You are living. Do you know where you are? You are in the sewers right now. And she goes, I don't care. She's like, I don't care. And she starts crying because women cannot go backwards. They can't do it, won't do it. All right. They will always want more. And that's the problem. The Bible talks about this, that there is an emptiness that a lot of that women typically will have inside of them. And that emptiness is filled by family. It is filled by children. That is what it's filled by motherhood. But women have cast away motherhood and family for consumption. And as a result of that, they can never find happiness or peace within that. It's the honest to goodness truth. And of course, guys, shout out to the 1 Hour Gang. Shout out to the 1 Hour Gang. I know you guys are waiting to hear it. Shout out to the 1 Hour Gang. So, guys, this is just the situation we're in right now. Doom spending in 2024 is way out of control, and it must be stopped, guys. Okay? Invest. Go get yourself some crypto. Head over to Angry's Crypto Academy so you can start learning about crypto, learning about investing. All right, learning about buying and selling anonymously, guys. All right, and securing your future. Learn which cryptocurrency is the crypto dark horse right now that is going to make a lot of people rich. Go and check that out. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA and walking away. And cheers.